Anambra show, the first March episode in the year 2024. My name is still Nonye Mokoye. Now, the federal government of Nigeria under NAFDAC on February 5th, 2024, they they put a ban, or they announced a ban on alcoholic beverages sold in sachet or bottles less than 200 ml. The agency asserts that the ban will, among other benefits, protect underage children from easy access to alcohol. And today, or this morning, we are here to really find out whether what NAFDAC had in mind will help or will be true to, and of course the way they can go about it. In this country, Nigeria have beautiful plans, beautiful policies, but our problem remains the implementation of all these policies. In the studio this morning, I've been joined by Ozo Ekemezie, a public affairs analyst. And of course, I have Anambra Arinze. The two gentlemen will help us talk about this issue. It's good to have you in the studio, gentlemen.
Yeah, very good morning, and members of Crew ABS, viewers at home, at the office, or wherever you are. It's a very beautiful Friday morning. Join us for us to see what we have in today's discussion.
All right, Arinze.
Anambra. Very pleasant morning and happy new month to every one of us.
All right. Now, let's see what NAFDAC has announced on the February 5th, 2024. I don't know, Uzo, when we talk about alcohol beverages, what is it and why do you think it's proper to ban it or to checkmate the excesses of alcohol?
Okay. First of all, as I said earlier, Nigeria is fond of making policies, but implementation of it at less with wrong. At the end of the day, it can create a negative impact in the consumer.
No, let's be in the right perspective. They said they ban alcohol, not drug.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I said drug and alcohol are interrelated. Okay. NAFDAC is for drug control. Okay. It's not what I'm trying to say. So I'm building a premise. Right. That's what I'm saying. Right. You see? So now, we talk about the component. Okay, the agencies, okay, the many, parastatals that have been created by federal government in terms of controlling what we consume, whether from CPC, whether from SON, Standard Organization of Nigeria, okay, talk about NAFDAC, talk about all these things agencies that have created for them to control what we consume, because it's what we consume, okay, determine our health status. That's what we're trying to say, okay. If you ban alcohol, sachet alcohol, have you dealt to the issue of abuse of alcohol? What causes abuse of alcohol? Because even if the food that you eat contains alcohol, even if the fruit that you eat contains alcohol, but it's in less substance. That's what I'm trying to say. So we always like to deal to the substance, to the shadow, instead of dealing with substance. That is the cause of children having access to these pockets alcohol sachet, one, whether it's snap or whatever or thereabout, or even the rock or all these bitters they are selling now, all of them, people drink it anyhow. Okay, they can drink it as even they're drinking water. I can somebody even working as a laborer, okay, before you know it has taken 10 sachets of Alamo bitters, okay, in a day, and you see him sweating like a goat, okay, on the hot sun like that. You see, so our environment, we need to have some orientations. not even allowing banning it is a problem. It is giving them orientation. When you have to take alcohol, how about children not having access to alcohol? Yes, the more write it, some patent right or some what I call it disclaimer that say this is not for children under 18 years. Okay, under 18 years. They put precautionary measure. But this time around, which one is for this sachet one? Is it meant for children under 18 years?
There's something I would have loved you to add in what you're saying. Let people understand what alcohol actually is.
I'm coming to that. I'm building a premise. Okay.
Right.
What I'm trying to say is that children, when you say which one is under 18, does they supposed to take alcohol at all? What are the benefits of alcohol? What are the benefits of alcohol? When do you need to take alcohol? When do you need to take alcohol? Is it meant for people to consume alcohol? Some people in the other part of the country, in Nigeria, has banned selling of alcohol. They even destroy people shops selling beers and all these things. Let me just tell you, in Abuja yesterday, okay, somebody was arrested because of he takes what you call kolos. That is what is in now. Kolos.
Call a drink?
Yes,
name
drink.
Of a drink.
Yes, kolos. The guy was hitting his head on a electric pole.
Okay, I saw the video.
Yes, putting his head on an electric pole. Okay, before people can reach him, he has already, wounded himself all over his body. You see, 2 of them were arrested. They were chained with rope because they take kolos. Okay, what of people that normally go and take this Bicodine? Okay, it's not contain alcohol because it's a drug. Is it what of people that let me just say this in the side of the road in free time that what they call kush. This kush is made up of, they go to even graveyard and get bone of people that have been buried and grind it and start smoking it and drinking it. So let us come generally for what they call it, the disadvantage of alcohol. Why the government want to copy it among the children. Okay, if you copy it among the children, what of the adult? Because nobody says that what the ego is doing, then the kids are looking at it. If the adults are abusing alcohol, the children will now lay hands on that. So what are we trying to say here is that government is not issue of banning sachet alcohol so that children will not have access to that. Rather, what costs people to have what that kind of desire to go and take alcohol, knowing full well that it can create many dangers. If you drink and drive, you get problem. If you're children, if you drink alcohol, you can even fall into a ditch, or you can even misbehave, you can even attack your parents.
That means alcohol could be intoxicating.
So what we're saying is not for you to ban it per se, in parentheses, but to deal to the cause, why you go give people orientation for them to stop abusing alcohol.
All right.
Because there are 3 things that I want us to sum here: use, abuse, and misuse.
All right, let's arrange the coming a bit before we come back to you, Ozo. Now, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, they said they ban alcohol in sachet. And of course, if you see there was a picture that was shown before, you see the sizes of the containers. They said the ones in sachet and the ones that are in bottles less than 200 mils. That's exactly what we saw there. And I was let us establish what alcohol is and what it can do to the system that made NAFDAC to come up to put a ban on this.
Okay, my brother here also was trying to establish a point, but the truth is, I may not sufficiently define alcohol, but alcohol is a substance, if I should use that word, that alters your system. It alters your ideology, it alters the fabrics of your brain per time. You get, and as a matter of fact, whether for the young or old, it's not very healthy. If I should use that adjective, very healthy. And the essence, the motive behind what NAFDAC is doing cannot be condemned. Truth. It cannot be condemned, but the problem is banning such alcohol and contains or container less than 200 ml is not sufficient enough to actually deal with this menace, because if you take something the person is addicted to out of the person's reach, the person will, in whatever means, improvise to also have access to that thing. If we ban the sachet and containers less than 200 ml, if they don't know what to do, they begin to steal, to save up, to start buying the bigger bottles. And as if they can't finish it, they last take it maybe in weeks or days. You get, there is a lot to actually do. And I must tell you, to deal with this thing very well to the roots, we need to actually get back to the homes.
You know, before we get to that, I want to remember what I said. Why do you think it's that NAFDAC had to put a ban? That means you also said part of it, that's the effect of alcohol.
It's become a habit now.
Okay.
But the truth is, where I was yesternight, you see that the youth has made it a habit. There is a high level of drug dependence, because when we say alcohol, we're just calling it's still part of drugs.
Okay.
There's the high level of drug dependence, alcohol dependence, or whatever. These children, these youths can no longer do without it, and it's come to a point where youthful exuberance. They now most times want to get into competition with it. I can do this number of bottles or whatever, and they go into, and you see, the more you do that thing, it affects both your kidney, your systems, your liver. So it's the effect is adverse. The what NAFDAC is doing is right, but it's not sufficient enough to deal with that.
All right. Now also, banning of pocket-friendly alcohol, which we've seen the picture of the ones that are less than 200 ml on the television, and of course they give reasons why they did it. Do you think it is sufficient enough to ban alcohols that are pocket friendly, and of course the ones that are in less than 200 ml container? Okay,
now, thank you very much, my sister. 200 milliliters, okay? Anyone that is, less than that should be banned.
Yes, and the ones in sachet.
In sachets. The issue is not the content. It's not the container, it's the content. Because we found out that there's what we call, 75 or 45, VOL. That is alcoholic volume, what we call it, liquid content. Okay? So, if you ban, let's do from 25 ml, the smaller one, even tiny something can contain 45% volume of alcohol. Tiny. It's talking about the content and not the container.
Okay.
If the content is highly less with rum, you see, no matter how you ban it, person take it, it must feel high. Because why they're taking this thing for them to feel high. And remember what I said, in chemical part of it, in chemical part of it, your body himself contain alcohol. As I'm not contain alcohol. So the area I'm driving before is that use, abuse, and misuse.
Okay.
These are 3 points going to use of alcohol. Use of alcohol to preserve certain things, for it not to spoil. Use of alcohol in some industry, in some laboratories, for you to carry out a lab test for somebody. These are being done with alcohol, isn't it? Use of it. Then we talk about abuse of it. Now your system already has alcohol. Somebody is supposed to take maybe 2% volume of alcohol. Then that is okay. If you go to 13, 14, 15 volume of alcohol, then you react to the system, and the person begin to misbehave anyhow, even to take some certain action, which is not what you call it, or whatever. That is abuse. You talk about misuse. Where you're supposed to use alcohol to do something, then now you use it to other aspect of it. Then the thing has to bring a negative effect. So the NAFDAC, or even Standard Organization of Nigeria, or even people that are controlling CPC, Consumer Protection Agency Councils, we look at these things and know the areas where the use of alcohol is important, because somebody can do some minor production of food or whatever, and they need their alcohol. It doesn't have money to buy the big content one. It can go and get this one, certain one, and now use it to do whatever you want it to do for people to consume. Now, if these parastatals or agencies wanted to deal with this, they should do it holistically, not binding male. They don't need to grade it 200 ml, 100 ml, this and that. You have to go back and tell people to check what they are producing, so that people will take this and not for them to react negative. If you say it's pocket one, as my brother has said, they can say, okay, hey, no pocket one again in market. Now, how are we going to do this thing now? But like say with the state save small money. My sister, they'll go and buy big bottle, put it in a bottle of Coke. They normally do it now.
Yeah.
But my film, okay, they normally drink and all these things. Okay, they don't even carry it in their this action bitters or what do you call it, alamo bitter. No.
They use Coke.
They use Coke. Put it on that
Sprite.
plate. Going on the way. This guy is drinking Coke and Sprite. Now lie, he's taking a big substance of alcohol in that, even including with the drug. You see what I'm trying to say? Okay, it is the orientation to the children.
All right, I think let's get to that orientation, because you know most alcohol adverts in this part of the world are done on television from 10 p.m. and you will see something written there: drink responsibly, and the logo 18 there.
Plus.
Yes. And now what NAFDAC is doing, they are targeting the children. I don't know the roles the parents are supposed to play in all this, because you talked about you know, enlightening the children. Yes, orientation, and that orientation should start from somewhere. A child that is not up to 18 is not supposed to take alcohol. So what do you say to our parents, or how do they come in on this ban on pocket-friendly alcohol? In as much as also he's saying that, you know, everything is targeted at getting the children not to, you know, have easy access to these things. That's the reason NAFDAC is doing. So where does the parent come in to help in this fight?
Okay. Truth be told, I don't believe that there is anything we can actually do to get the society right if the family is not involved.
Okay.
And having said that, parents would play a very major role, very major because I want to say that we've lost the strength of our parenting skills. Parents are not committed to questioning the attitude, the habits, the characters of their children now. Parents are not looking out to see what their children do part time. And you see, because of that lackadaisical and careless and carefree interest in what the children does, the children begin to journey in realms and paths that they shouldn't have journeyed naturally. Now, and you also see parents sending their words
to go and buy those.
To buy them those things.
Because those ones, they are not just alcohol. Kai, that's what.
And there is no way, you know, children are keen to whatever you do before them. They begin to build interest in wanting to know the joy, the displeasure, whatever you derive from those things. So sending them to buy it from you often and on, their consciousness begins to develop that, okay, when we refer the idea of mommy and them enjoying here. And as they begin to grow, they'll come to a point where if they cannot afford it by themselves, and not be they go better, because they would want to have a taste of it. If they don't, okay. I was at home one time, and alcohol was served. I just called some of my younger cousins. I called one of the small girls amongst them and gave her a bottle of alcohol. Said, hey, but I started beckoning on the other kids around so they can go and devour the alcohol. And I called her, okay, now, do you drink before your dad? She said no, because I know the father doesn't drink. So that became my question. You know, being the fact that I'm an art student, I know how to. I became very upset, and I didn't want to mention it to the father because I know the father. How did that girl begin to drink alcohol, and the father doesn't drink alcohol? And I think the mother doesn't even taste alcohol too. Where did she learn it from? So you see, there is a lot to actually do, I tell you. And I don't want to go sounding very religious, say pray, no. But the parents should, in my teen, I wasn't even a teenager, I was a youth then. One of the days I gave my father some cash. My father called me and said, nah, how far? I was like, I don't get. So at my age, I said, no, because a few weeks ago you were complaining of funds. How were you able to raise funds to even give us this? And I know for giving us this, you have enough for yourself. And I looked at my dad and I said, you are still a father. That at my age, my father can still question my livelihood, my source of income, and all of that. Parents should actually sit up. If parents don't sit up, no matter what the government does, government agencies, parastatals, we will not get it right. As a matter of fact, if we stop started alcohol and all of this, have we addressed the drugs? They may switch from that to another thing. Because before we started talking about Mbulumili, people were doing weed and all of that. Mbulumili came from wherever it came, I don't know. And they switched because every time they want to see if they can go higher. Orientation, paradigm shift, guidance and counseling. And that's one thing we're also losing. Growing up as a student in junior secondary in Prince Memorial High School, we had a guidance and counseling
unit.
Yes. I doubt if we still do practice that in our schools.
I think we still have, because we read one in the news this morning in a public school in Anambra State.
To get the children on the right path.
Yes, I think we still have.
It's going to be a multiplier effect of attack.
All right. Now, there's something I said before we came on air also, that Nigeria, most times have beautiful policies, they have beautiful plans. Now, NAFDAC is coming up with this ban on pocket-friendly alcohol, targeted at younger people, not so that they don't get easy access to taking alcohol. Do you think this is going to work? And if it's going to work, are there going to be collaborations? Let us know.
Thank you very much. Before I say that, what my friend was saying here is in order in terms of the parental issues, parental factors in the abuse of alcohol. Okay. You can see a parent drinking alcohol before his children, and even giving them a tip. Test. Okay. Mostly on this their festivity period. Okay, they take them out hanging. Okay, small, you tip it on his mouth. Okay, the guy tastes it. You see, are you trying to train the child that you just show the love, that you love him or her very, very well, but not that knowing that they're leading him or her into a danger, that are going to be very, very dangerous in his life. Two, if you're a parent, don't allow your children or maybe other teenagers or whatever to go and work in a place they're selling alcohol, bar or whatever it is. Because when it goes there, people come there and drink it to quantum. Okay, and somebody can say, okay, I buy one bottle for you now. Thank you for giving me these services. The person then started taking this. So there's many things you are going to do to cope these things out. That's what I'm talking about, orientation. Now, coming to Nigerian, making a policy, it is a part and parcel of Nigeria. It is in Nigeria DNA of making policies, but not implementing the policy. These things cannot, if not have a very high collaboration and to go and delve to the depth. The root cause of children having access to this alcohol and taking it. Whether NAFDAC it's not today now that NAFDAC started making policy. What of other factors, electricity and other things that Nigeria making policy. If you want monetary policy, are you not buying dollars? I mean, how much now? You see, even if in the matter of petroleum this and subsidy, are you not having fuel in a high cost? So all the policies will come up and go without dealing to the cost of the root. I'm telling you, the problem of people is just only to the action. I used to say it time without number here and here, that God destroyed the first world. It's not even the problem we are talking about. It's why the God destroyed the first world. The cause and not the action. What caused the children to be having even interest, not even having access, interest, because
to take.
Yes, it's interest. Before you talk about access, without having interest on something, you don't use it to listen. To me, I have lived with students when we are in university, we live in a hostel or whatever. Some smoke Indian weed, like say that's every morning. Without smoking it, you will not eat. But here am I today. Okay, I don't take cigarette, I don't take Indian hemp. But if I have interest, if that particular area has corrupted me, I would have become an Indian hemp smoker. You see, so it's interest that is the first of all. So we have to now make the children or the youth to lack interest in alcohol. First of all, by giving orientation, the dangers of it. Tell them the use of alcohol, where it can be beneficial for them. Don't allow them to go into abuse and misuse. This is what NAFDAC should be doing. Going into schools, trying to create orientation, going into the market, into the church and other places, and now make people to understand this. Not to bind this in is the issue. First of all, you have to make people to lack interest on that. Then before we talk about how you are going to now execute the plan of banning it. If you go to market and say you ban this pocket alcohol, some women are having their source of income from that, it's going to affect them. What are they going to be selling? And the money that if you ban it, that poor woman who normally carry it in a tray, maybe his means of survival. Because Nigerians now are not thinking about what to do to change the system. It's a means of survival. That's why the government has weaponized hunger, so that every average man is thinking about survival, not even about what to do to change the system. So the woman will now go home. Hey, nah, I don't have anything again to do. You look at today now, all these small things that they do to make money, they have already
banned it.
Banned it. So it's not only affecting the children. What of the adults who normally take that particular alcohol? Okay. So there must be proper regulation in production. Then go to orientation. Because if you produce, say, 200 ml, what of the liquid content? Remember, when we were kids, you have Coke, they say 25 cl. Is it not true? Liquid content. You see? Small sachet of snap you have. It's called kai kai. What are that already content of it? If it is 45, that 45 means that a whole of it is 45. But if you take that sachet, small tip of it is not up to 45 alcoholic content. Okay. So this is what we're talking about. Okay, the way you're going to now use it. And by the time you finish it, mind you that you're taking 45 alcoholic content, then people can take it 10. Carrying block like this, serving mercy. Okay, doing mechanic. You see someone will repair my car now, enter inside the car. Before I know it, see 5 sachets of action bitters. A mechanic of 18 years taking this thing. He said, "Oh God, nah, they make me to high very well, so I can able to do this job. Okay, I know what I'm doing." So all this is issue. So Nigerian policy is our DNA to make fine policies, but we can never execute the policy. If Nigeria has executed the policy they made since instead of democracy, 1999. See, now I'm telling you, would have been London. There will be no Japan out of the country.
All right, the program is Good Morning Anambra, the ban on pocket-friendly alcohol, and I have also a Ekemeze and Arize and Ebunam in the studio looking at this issue at hand. We take a short break here. The program returns after now. Please join us again.
Yes! My champs, they use energy at school. I know because imagine the energy they may have used up. To return home this transform every day.
Your champs need nourishing energy. Give them the new and improved Milo at breakfast.
It has nutrients that support energy release to help champs get the most out of their active days. Milo!
In a world hungry for goodness, with a splash of golden Terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Make a lunch hour a happy hour. Change no thanks into yes please. Provide care when our nearest and dearest needs it most. And resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty, nourishing family meals is all that matters. The world needs moms, because where there are moms, there is hope, happiness, and love. Golden Terra Oil, or pure love.
All right, it's still Good Morning Anambra show, the ban on pocket-friendly alcohol. I have Uze Kemeze and Arize and Ebunam in the studio. And now, so far, there's been an established fact here that this is not feasible, going by the way Nigeria make policies and implementation becoming a problem to us over the years. Now, Arize, from what Uzo said last before we went on break, that he doesn't see this, working out. And you will agree that there's been a lot of things that were banned in this country, after which you see those things, in people's hands, in some markets, you know, and you begin to ask questions. I thought this was banned. You know. Now, Uzo is saying that it cannot, that they can't
implement it.
do you see that happening? And if it is true, you know, what do you think is the best way to go in ensuring that this, because of the reason NAFDAC is banning it, you know, what's the best way to go to help in helping those children not to have access to alcohol?
Okay, let me start with the reality of implementation. First is that implementation is right and visible, but cannot be absolute. Absolute in the sense that this is Nigeria, like somebody sang in a song. Already there are some industries that has made it in respect to funds, finance, cash flow in the production of this pocket-friendly alcohol, that even if you ban, some of them can find a way, lobby themselves out of the effect of that ban, and they will still be producing. And not just producing, even mass producing. Okay. But the one thing I'm taking a look at is, if this ban is truly implemented, the effect it will have on the economy. Economy in the sense, the economy, the people, the industry first will be shut down. If we go absolute implementation, people will lose their jobs. And you know, it will have, whether we believe it or not, a way of, at the spur of the moment, increasing criminality. Okay. Now, to efficiently implement this ban, government need to actually sit down, think and rethink, devise means to avert whatever negativity that may be bettered as a result of this ban. Because whether we like it or not, people are working there. And if you take a critical study of the production the companies producing, and people are, more companies are coming. I saw one the other day, something bitters. I was like, also bitters, because it's selling. Like Ozo was saying, everybody's going to buy it. The mechanic is buying it. Every laborer is buying it. That's what they can actually lay hands on.
Is bitters actually alcohol?
Alcoholic
complete
bitters.
Alcohol, okay.
Yes, contain alcoholic.
Nobody's doing just bitters.
I thought they said it's drug. Okay.
No.
Nobody's doing just bitters.
Okay.
Alcoholic bitters. Okay. So everybody's rushing to it. But I don't know. For the sake of our children, we will give a nod to the ban. But if we give a nod to the ban, what happens to the people that are working in this? You see, and everything still in a way boils down to the integrity, the sincerity, the genuine interest of government for the people. I tell you. And one of the ways to also deal with this thing is to, if we can stop the serving of alcohols publicly, because you go to events, even government events, these things are served. Okay. These things are served. Children take it. You go to, what is it called, drinking bars and all of that. You see children in those places. I remember when the immediate past governor of Anambra State was around, there was a time he had that policy at some time of the day that nobody's expected to see in drinking parlors and all of that, you know, and it worked for a little while. You get. If government would truly sit down, whether by constituent committee or whatever, and devise means, not just the ban, no, if we take a strong force dive into this implementation of this ban, I tell you, some of us will call back for a reopening.
All right, also, this ban on pocket friendly, we know the reason why NAFDAC is doing this. Now, what's the best way, do you think, they can go about it to achieve the purpose, which is children not having easy access to alcohol intake?
Now, the two things are involved. I want you to first of all do a kind of reconciliation. Reconcile Nigeria as Anglophone and the other Francophone country. Okay? The example of Francophone country, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, whereby by 12 noon, sorry, 2 p.m. of every day, there will be a break. For all traders, civil servants, and all these things, you go to bar, eat, drink, as you like, and then you come back to work and close by 4. That is what they do in Francophone country. It's in Cameroon, it's in Cote d'Ivoire. Okay? And they're still doing their things, what they call it, normally. You see? Then bring it to Nigeria here. You see? In office, in Nigeria, we say, we don't drink alcohol in the office. Okay? While on duty, don't drink alcohol. You see? While driving, don't drink alcohol. I got what I'm trying to say. But you see, a policeman drink alcohol to stupor, and he's gone, we are taken away. Okay, he even fall into a ditch, and people are carrying some even defecate in their uniform. This is a disgrace, national disgrace that a policeman in Nigeria is taking alcohol, okay, to stupor. This is what I'm trying to say now. Okay, then what will the children, okay, astray, seeing such action, see a policeman defecating in it, as a people are public gathering, hey, people are shouting and listening. Some students, some people are going back to their home after school, and children stood by and watching that scenario. What does it entail them? You see, that's why I'm trying to tell you that 2 things are involved. This, what do you call it, use, abuse, and misuse should be removed from the children. 1, you take it to adult, talk them these 3 things. Then children, you tell them dangers of alcohol. That's all.
That's orientation.
Orientation, dangers of alcohol. So they will not even try to have access to that. Once they lack the interest, they cannot even go to have access. Okay? Until maybe when they come to the adult, okay, you start bringing the use, misuse, and the abuse of alcohol. Okay. So the point there, parent has role to play. Okay, leaders, okay, counselors, guardians, mentors, okay, have role to play to tell children leave alcohol because it's dangerous. Then NAFDAC making this policy, I said it down with that number, okay, you cannot be chasing the shadow, okay, without substance.
All right.
See, what are going to do to the issue, buying alcohol? If you bind it from the children, my dear sister, when the preferable is not available, the available become preferably preferable.
All
you
right.
can find a way to start taking it.
All right. We'd like to thank you so much for those points raised here. Thank you also, Ekemeze, for your time on Good Morning Anambra show today. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. All right.
I'd like to thank you so much, Arinze. Thank you for your time this morning.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right. This is where we wrap up the show for today. Good Morning Anambra show, the 1st March episode. My name is Nonye Mokoye. It's a goodbye from here.